name is Janelle from Hethcoat. I'm the founder of Unified Healing. You can learn a little bit more about me later on if you want to stop by my booth. But the most important thing here is to talk about the story, the journey, and the science behind why this worked. Okay, so we'll start off here. So 2015 was a year of profound transformation for me. I lost my job. I grieved the passing of my father after his battle with lung cancer. I got married, and I began a deeply personal fertility journey. So at that point, I had spent the majority of my life immersed in creative work as a designer in the fashion industry and as a musician. So creation was not anything that was new to me. I had actually lived and breathed the creative process for as long as I can remember. But the creation of life, which is the ultimate act of creation, is something that is far more intricate and sacred. It's not something that we can approach as we would the creation of a product or the pursuit of a goal. It really requires a shift in perspective and a willingness to surrender and the integration of our mind, our body, and our spirit into the process. So at the start of my fertility journey, I approached it the same way I had approached every other creative endeavor in my life. So determination, structure, a clear plan, and I told myself that if I worked hard enough, if I stayed disciplined enough, and if I followed the advice of experts, that I would achieve the goal of parenthood. But life had other lessons to teach me in this process, and this is what I'm here to share with you. I experienced child loss after child loss, and I actually found myself grappling with this reality that I wasn't prepared for. My body was not responding to pregnancy. And my mind and my spirit was breaking under the weight of disappointment. I remember my first and second miscarriages with unsettling clarity. And what stands out the most is how little time I allowed myself to truly process the loss of a child. I took a single day off of work, just one day. And then returned as if nothing had happened, throwing myself back into this relentless grind of fertility treatments. And it was as if I was running a marathon where stopping for even a moment felt like failure. I was approaching the creation of life the same way I approached my 9-to-5 job, pushing through massive amounts of stress, white-knuckling my way through situations just to achieve an outcome, and constantly saying yes when deep down inside I wanted to say no. So by this time, multiple doctors began telling me that natural conception was unlikely, and that IVF would be my only option. So with what we had saved, my husband and I turned to a fertility clinic. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I endured rounds of hormone injections and egg retrievals, holding on to hope with each step. Finally, we ended up with 2 blastocysts, but both were flagged with chromosomal deficiencies after genetic testing. So the clinic advised against implanting them due to increased risks. And I had already signed paperwork agreeing not to use embryos with genetic abnormalities, which was a common protocol intended to prevent complications. I actually pleaded with the clinic to implant the embryos anyways, but that decision was actually out of my hands. So yet again, we were left with another devastating failure. So this particular doctor actually explained to me that the issue stemmed from my cellular energy, which due to my maternal age of 38 at that time, was apparently no longer sufficient to create an embryo with a complete set of chromosomes. He likened it to a printer running out of ink. So when the ink starts to fade, he says, you can only see fragments of the words but not the full sentence. And actually, it was this statement that was the turning point for me. My sister suggested the use of sound therapy, mentioning that she had read about crystal singing bowl's potential to regenerate cellular energy. And so I was initially skeptical. I began researching and discovering emerging evidence that supported this idea. Studies such as those by Dr. Gerald Pollack and others exploring vibrational medicine suggest that harmonic frequencies can influence the mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cells, stimulating energy production and releasing biophotons into the cells. So this is actually light, a byproduct of cellular activity, which plays a critical role in cell communication and also regeneration. So by this time, I underwent my second round of IVF. And I had immersed myself in sound therapy already. I was already attending multiple sound baths a week. I had even become certified as a practitioner. And I felt confident that this practice would help my body conceive. But despite my efforts, my body produced 6 embryos, and none of which were viable after a certain number of days. So I was devastated. I hit rock bottom. And this highly respected Harvard doctor delivered the harshest news in like the harshest way. She said that I was inexplicably infertile. And statistically, my only chance of becoming a mother would be with a donor egg. So I spent a week in bed. I was super depressed, and I was overcome with grief, and I was really feeling in a really dark place. But then one morning, something shifted. I felt this undeniable pull to my sound room, to my sound bowls. And I just started playing again. I started playing my crystal singing bowls. I committed to vocal toning for an hour a day. And this actually became my daily ritual. It became my release, my lifeline. And so through these sound practices, I gave myself permission to sing and to tone and express emotions that had been long buried in my subconscious. So I felt this inexplicable release of grief and shame, allowing me to move forward with hope. So my mind and my heart grew quiet, and in that stillness, I experienced the profound energy of surrender. So about 45 days later, while pushing a cart through IKEA, I really can remember this moment, I suddenly stopped in my tracks. And I had a powerful inner knowing wash over me. I just felt that there was a life inside of me. So I rushed home to take a test, and sure enough, I was pregnant. It was a moment of profound clarity and connection, one that science may struggle to explain, but that I knew without a doubt to be true. Sound had healed me. I carried my pregnancy to term, and my daughter is now a beautiful and happy 6-year-old. Over the past 6 years as a mom, this life-changing event transformed my mindset from one of overachieving productivity and control to one of surrender and trust. What began as a personal practice, something I turned to for my own healing, has evolved into my life's purpose. It's become my mission to deeply explore and understand how sound played a critical role in my healing journey. And the reason that this is my mission is so that I can actually share it in a way that bridges both science and spirituality and bring light to others on this journey, especially those who are in moments where they're in that dark place that I was, where hope feels out of reach. And so we get into it, how sound therapy heals. To understand how sound therapy relates to fertility, we begin with the foundational idea that life is governed by vibrations, influencing our physical, emotional, and physiological states, including fertility. This connection is deeply tied to the autonomic nervous system and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, both critical to hormonal regulation and reproductive health. So the first principle of sound therapy is vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates, and these vibrations significantly influence cellular and physiological health. Research demonstrates that harmonic frequencies can directly impact mitochondria, the energy centers of cells, promoting cellular repair and vitality. Number 2, resonance. External sound frequencies, such as those produced by crystal singing bowls, which we'll hear in a little bit, can amplify the body's natural frequencies, enhancing cellular energy and promoting balance. The third principle is rhythm. Everything in the universe and everything in our bodies moves on patterns of rhythm, like our circadian rhythms, right? So these help to align the body with natural healthy states. Rhythmic sound therapies have been shown to improve stress recovery and support autonomic balance. Then we have the principle of entrainment. So this is the synchronization of biological rhythms such as heartbeats and brain waves with external rhythms, and these foster coherence and energy efficiency within the body. And then the last is the most powerful intention. The last is the most powerful principle, which is intention. So conscious thought enhances the effects of sound, directing focus and emotional energy towards achieving healing outcomes. And so I'd love to share with you some of the research on sound and fertility. And if you are interested in getting a copy of this presentation as well as a recording, you can stop by my booth. Actually, at the end of this will be a slide where you can download this entire presentation. Okay? So let's talk about stress, HRV, and fertility. So chronic stress and unresolved trauma, right? And we all know the fertility journey is traumatic and stressful, right? Can lead to autonomic dysregulation, where the sympathetic fight or flight response dominates. It disrupts the balance needed for conception. This often manifests as reduced heart rate variability. This is a key marker of stress resilience that is closely linked to infertility. Research highlights the therapeutic potential of vagus nerve stimulation to improve heart rate variability and to promote a parasympathetic state and restore hormonal balance by modulating sympathetic outflow. So these are all key factors in supporting fertility. For instance, a 2022 study demonstrated that transcutaneous auricular vagus nerve stimulation improves HRV and supports autonomic regulation, which could have implications for conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, which is a common cause of infertility. So if you look up here at the chart, you can see that the study was actually conducted on two control groups. One control group was healthy young adults, and there was another case with women with polycystic ovary syndrome. So the chart actually highlights the data that was represented from the healthy group. And these studies focus on healthy individuals undergoing transcutaneous auricular vagus nerve stimulation to evaluate its impact on heart rate variability metrics. So the key metrics for heart rate and relaxation showed significant improvements after the therapy. So the first metric was heart rate stability. This increased by 66%, indicating better control over heartbeat patterns. The second measurement was relaxation measure, and this improved by 87%, suggesting a stronger ability to relax. The third was overall variability, so this grew by 50%, which reflected healthier heart variability. And the fourth was calm state, so this enhanced by 60%, which showed a greater capacity for maintaining calm under stress. So the findings suggest that transauricular vagus nerve stimulation may improve stress resilience and autonomic balance, and obviously these are crucial for overall well-being and reproductive health. So the second topic we're going to talk about is vibration and resonance in cellular health. Okay, so we see how vagus nerve stimulation can affect heart rate variability. Now we're going to talk about actually some cytobiology aspects. So sound therapy, particularly through harmonic frequencies, plays a significant role in restoring the body's resonant balance. Research suggests that specific vibrations, such as those produced by crystal singing bowls, can enhance mitochondrial function and support cellular repair by synchronizing biological rhythms. So this process is vital for overall organ health, including your reproductive organs, which are often disrupted by chronic stress and trauma. Studies support the impact of sound frequencies on cellular health. Ventura in 2017 examined the concept of cell melodies, so in illustrating how sound influences stem cells and guides cellular behavior. These vibrations enhance protein synthesis and cellular function, aiding in tissue repair and regeneration. In 2023, San Leon emphasizes the importance of mitochondrial health in both disease and recovery, highlighting how harmonic frequencies can affect mitochondrial function to promote energy production and repair. And in addition, in 2018, Goswami investigated how pulsed electric fields interact with mitochondria and the cytoskeleton to influence cellular respiration. So these findings suggest that external vibrations, like the ones that you receive in sound therapy, can enhance cellular energy efficiency, which is critical for maintaining health, for aiding recovery, and particularly in the context of stress or trauma in your fertility journey. Collectively, these studies support the role of sound therapy in facilitating cellular repair, enhancing organ health, and improving reproductive function, all of which can be compromised by prolonged stress. So there's something that I can speak to, like, I was speaking about this at the booth not too long ago. During my fertility journey, after multiple child losses and the failed IVS, people would really have the audacity to come to me and say, you just need to relax. You just need to calm down, And in my mind, I was just like, I am calm, I am relaxed, And so in these journeys, it's like stress becomes our baseline frequency. We don't understand that we're not stressed. Our body is holding so much stuff, right? And so these practices that engaged, stillness and introspection actually helped me, realize how stressed out I actually was, right? And so looking here at this chart, we can see that in this research, the population, the results were based on cellular models, so including adipose, human adipose-derived stem cells, and actually mitochondria-focused studies. So what these metrics actually explained were that protein synthesis increased by 50%, reflecting improved cellular functionality. That energy production enhanced by 60%, demonstrating better mitochondrial efficiency. That respiration efficiency improved by 60%, indicating more effective cellular respiration, and the repair rate of cells increased by 50%, showcasing accelerated cellular repair. All right. So we've spoken about heart rate variability, we've spoken about cellular function, and now we're going to talk about hormones, right? So neural and hormonal modulation. Vagus nerve stimulation through sound therapies like vocal toning and chanting, which is something that I did so much of during my journey. And it's just, I love to sing. Do you know what I mean? I know there are some people in the room that love to sing, right? And it's a beautiful practice, and it's actually very beneficial for you. So I use a lot of vocal toning and chanting, and that has actually been shown to lower cortisol, which is the stress hormone, while supporting the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which regulates reproductive hormones, right? So this mechanism helps to restore hormonal balance that is essential for fertility. Research highlights that VNS promotes neuroplasticity and emotional regulation. Do you know how much pain, how much endurance that we hold in our bodies, all the things that are never said, all the feelings that are never expressed? These are all things that are just trapped, that affect our nervous system that we're not aware of. So this sort of aspect of emotional regulation is so important in overcoming these fertility challenges. For instance, in 2021, Dirakshan explored how VNS can improve fertility in cases of male factor infertility by enhancing autonomic regulation and emotional well-being. Similarly, Camusis, in 2019, demonstrated that auricular VNS can align biological rhythms such as circadian cycles, which influence hormonal cycles that are critical for ovulation. These findings underscore the effectiveness of VNS and sound therapy in promoting fertility, not only by reducing stress, but also by improving neural and emotional health. These are essential factors for a successful conception. And I don't know what your fertility experience, what your fertility journey has been, but I know that emotional health is something that is not really, it's kind of overlooked, right? In the way that our healthcare systems are. And even, our work systems and even just things that are just ingrained by, programmed into our, into our mental programming. Emotional health is very much so overlooked. Okay, so if you look here at the chart, you can see that the population that this was done on was derived from studies on men with male infertility and individuals with autonomic dysfunction. And so what these collective experiments showed were that cortisol levels decreased by 33%, so this indicated a reduction of stress. Heart rate variability improved by 66%, reflecting better autonomic regulation. Emotional well-being increased by 60%, showcasing psychological benefits, and hormonal balance was restored through modulation of the HPA axis and circadian rhythms. Okay. So, I mean, I can show you better than I can talk about it. Sound therapy is definitely an experiential practice. It's something that, wherever you're at, I really recommend giving it a try. And, I just want to thank you for allowing me to explore the science and spirituality of sound today and listening to my story. This is my daughter, Willow. Rainbow baby, she has a rainbow on her cheek. But there's one thing that sound therapy actually taught me that was really important. It's to stop striving and to start listening, right? There's something in being able to release control and trust in the outcomes that life offers when we're aligned with our authentic frequency. And that's the main thing. It's like, are you living in an authentic frequency? Are you saying yes when you really mean no? What is your heart telling you in different situations? And are you just trying to cope with this thing that you're actually not designed for, right? And so to anyone on this journey, I just want to say that you're not broken. I thought for a long time that I was broken. You're not broken. Your body is not incapable. It's a divine creation that's asking you to pause and listen. Creation is never a solo act. It is a co-creative process. It's like the instruments in an orchestra coming together to create that symphony. So if we're trying to dominate, if we're trying to force our instrument to be the loudest, then the harmony is actually disrupted. The song is lost. So even in the moments when hope feels out of reach, I want you to remember that within you lies this incredible power to heal. You're born with that. This is a power that is ancient and limitless as the first sound that set all of this creation into motion. Creation is your birthright. So as we close, I invite you to connect with this power. Let's just take a moment right now for a brief sound meditation, and let's let the vibrations guide us to a place of balance, connection, and possibility. Let's pause. Let's listen to our inner voice, okay? And as I mentioned, I will leave it here on this last slide. If anybody wants a copy of this presentation, it's that one that's right in the middle. You can take a picture of the whole entire thing. But let me see how much time we have left. We have about 7 minutes left, so 7-minute meditation. Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah? If you have any questions and you didn't get to ask them in this talk, you can definitely just meet us at the booth and ask away. Okay. All right, so wherever you are, just close your eyes. Plant your feet on the ground, uncross your legs, let your arms hang down off the chair. Bring your chin parallel to the ground, so don't compress your airway. Take a deep breath in, all the way down into the belly. Feel the belly rise and expand. Begin to feel the rib cage open. And as you slowly exhale out, just feel the sensation of the body becomes empty.
this side, release. Last time, inhale in. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can bring our hands to heart center together. Let's just close out this time together with one collective hold. Take a deep inhale in. Thank you so much. Thank you.